like I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
Welcome to another edition of The Balking Dead. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets. It's Saturday, and this show is still sponsored by Prize Picks. So I appreciate you all for showing up. Smash the like if you already haven't, and go on over to Prize Picks and use that promo code PubSports. Why your first match deposit up to $100, they got you. So do us a favor, do you a favor, and use that promo code, guys. Not at that. Hit the fucking like, hit the share, guys, and pop in if you're in Twitter world. This video will end shortly, so come hit the chat. Come join my boys like LJ from fucking Houston and Nilo and the rest of the crew that will show up and start throwing out some nuggets of information as well, guys. So let's get into it. It's Saturday. We're going to talk about 3 games and 2 pitchers I broke down. Today is an ass fucking card, bro. At the end of the day, I bet pitchers who strike people out. And today is like my boy, underrated. Shout out to him. This is the shit pitch whisperer day, guys. This is for people who like to bet on shitty pitchers and cash on low numbers. This is your day, guys. So not the day I go looking forward to, but we got to break down games, and we're still going to find some advantages. So shout out to you guys. Smash the fucking like if you haven't. And as I talked about my boy underrated, guys, Monday during the show, we are going to premiere the new song for The Balking Dead, made by underrated himself. Shout out to my motherfucking guy. The song, the chorus, everything is about me, guys. Fuck the bookies. Fuck the bookies. At the end of the day, guys, fuck the bookie tour. 2021 and 2022 has been a very successful years, and we're not stopping this train. So let's get right fucking to it, guys. First pitcher I'm going to talk about is the cookie cutter man himself, Carlos Carrasco. It's going up against the Marlins, guys. So he's going to be a quarter unit bet at 5.5 at plus 120. Why is he going to be a quarter unit bet, guys? Well, he is 5-2 to 6+ strikeouts when facing a team with a 23% K rate or higher. And the Marlins at this point, over the last 200 plate appearances, are at a 23.5% K rate. The only time he didn't hit this K rate, and this will be the 3rd game versus the Marlins now, the only time he did not have 6+ strikeouts versus them was on 7-9 when this team had a 22.4 K percentage. So going through his box score, this guy hits 6+ on teams with a 23% K percent high or better. 5 wins, 2 losses out of 7 chances at that number. And now he gets a team where when he faced with the same numbers, we could drag these numbers back to 6-17 the first time they played. They were walking 6.6%. They're now walking 6.3%. They were striking out 24.2%. They're striking out 23.5%. 242 average. Now they have a 240 average. 717 OPS back then. Now it's a 620, and their ISO is just falling off the roof. So they're just not seeing the ball. The same walk and strikeout numbers where he had 7 versus this team. So I will be on him at a quarter unit at 5.5 at the plus 120. There's just too many different things telling me which way and not. I do need to see a lineup, though, if I do want to jump it up to a half unit. This guy does strike out left-handed bats better than right-handed bats, so would presumptively want a lot more lefties than righties in the lineup. He does strike out a strikeout per more on the road than he does at home, and we do have him on the road here. So there's a few things adding up. They are giving me that plus 120 to get 6, so I just like this spot for a quarter unit bet myself. Shout out to my motherfucking guys in here. I see you guys. Trey, what up, though? I see you. What up? Let's get to it, though. The next guy I got a quarter unit bet on is I took Tyler Mahle over 6+ at minus 143. Why? Well, let's get into it. On the road, he's averaging 10.1 strikeouts compared to 9.6 at home. And it doesn't matter with him, lefties and righties. He's striking out 10 lefties per 9, well, 9.8 righties per 9. So go suck on that with your freaking, your little lineup card. So some guys I love, guys. At the end of the day, you just don't need to see a lineup. And if you want to run a Tyler Mahle, he's the type of guy where he just usually gets the shit knocked out of him, guys. So that's just a bad thing. So now when I run these Orioles numbers up versus over the last 15 days, They're walking 8.1%. They're not striking out 17.4%. 263 average with the 756 OPS and an ISO of 152. Well, I matched these numbers up versus his whole game log and everybody else who he's played, and he's seen a team 2 times with these same numbers, and he had 4 and 6 strikeouts in those games, and those 2 teams were the Washington Nationals and the Cleveland Guardians. Now, if you watch the show, you know I preach those are 2 teams that do not strike out until today. If you ran fucking Corey Kluber, great call. Like, I looked at the box score. The fucker had 9 strikeouts through 5. Whoa! Definitely didn't see that, but I don't even look to play a Corey Kluber. But I do know the Guardians are one of those teams like the Nationals. They're really good at making contact. And he had 4 strikeouts in one game and 6 in the other. Well, the Baltimore Orioles are not that team. So I have him for going 6+ innings today and averaging over a strikeout per inning. And that's going to get me the wiggle room to where if he does just strike out 1 per inning, I do have him projected to go 6+ innings today. This team's just not hitting the ball, and they got to rely on him at the end of the day. So his ERA sucks. Can he get touched up? Yes, but I do expect his strikeouts to be there. So I will be on him for a quarter unit bet as well. Now let's get into some breakdowns, guys. The shit we do best on this show. 34 in here, 20 likes. Smash the fucking like if you haven't. Hit the share, hit the retweet, and let's get to this game. Phillies and Pirates. Ranger Suarez versus Mitch Keller. Ranger Suarez, 7-5 with a 3.84 ERA. He does have a home 4.4 ERA and a road 3.23, and Ranger's going to be on the road here. Now he gets the dreadful Pirates who can't hit lefties for a motherfucker, right? At the end of the day, guys, we and everybody else knows you got to fade Pittsburgh. But at the end of the day, I don't just run people just to run people. I run people in the right situations. That's why I am profitable. If you just run every lefty up versus the Pittsburgh Pirates, I don't know what the record is versus that, but I've seen quite a few times where bum pitchers just don't do the damn thing versus this team. Well, I'm not saying Ranger Suarez is a bum at all, but I do know this. He is not looking for the strikeout. He is looking for the ground ball. He throws the cutter over 50% of the time. The cutter induces ground balls, guys. At the end of the day, that's what he's looking for. If the strikeouts are there, cool, but that's not what he wants. But just by being out there for as long as I have him projected to be out there today, I just don't see how he doesn't get his 5+ at -134. On Prize Picks, that's where they had him earlier. And as 6+ is at +129. Fantasy scores at 33.5, and that's where I'm going to play him at on Prize Picks. I expect this guy to be out there 7 innings, and I think he needs 7 innings to get that 5 strikeouts. That's why I'm not going to bet his K-prop today. Now, can he have a strikeout per inning or better versus a team like this? Yeah, he can, but I don't bet ifs, and this guy at the end of the day is not looking for strikeouts. There's been plenty of times where he's ran up against teams like the Pirates where the strikeout numbers say play, and he doesn't hit the strikeout numbers. Now, he does hit it if he goes 6-7 innings in those games, and that's where I see him getting it at. But to bet a guy to go 7 innings, guys, you might as well just look at like betting the guy's fucking pitching outs than taking a guy's K-prop over 5 when I think the guy's got to go 21 outs to get that. So that's just me, and I'm just going to kick back thinking that I'm not going to bet a guy's K-prop just because he's going up against the Pirates. Not for me at the end of the day. Now, they are trash. 8.6 walk percentage, middle of the pack. 27.3 strikeout percentage, trash. 207 average, 512 OPS, and an ISO of 0.43 versus lefties over their last 200 plate appearances, and that's just bad. Dreadful. So I don't hate you if you are on Ranger Suarez's K-prop today, but don't be surprised when he's like, you're sitting in the 6th inning and he still needs 1 or 2 strikeouts and you're like, what the fuck? But even if he does catch it before, he should still be out there long enough, guys. At the end of the day, I don't hate it. If you're looking to pull him down a few and add him to something, definitely look at it that way. But yeah, the guy's in a really good spot today and in a spot to go really, really long today. So don't hate it. On the other hand, it's more like I need to see a lineup, guys, at the end of the day. I really wanted to run some Mitch Keller today, and that sounds crazy. He's at 5+ -117, 4.5 on Prize Picks. and his fantasy score is at 24.5. Now, why the fuck would I want to run Mitch the Bitch Keller? Let's talk about him. 3-7 with a 4.55 ERA in 19 games. Home road splits, he has the same, pretty much trash. And he's gone 6+ innings in 5 of the last 7 games, with 34 strikeouts in 33 innings, averaging 5.6 strikeouts per game. He does average 1K more per 9 on the road than he does at home, and he struggles putting left-handers away. At the end of the day, this guy needs righty-dominant lineups to be played on, in my opinion, and that's why I have to wait for him to come out with a lineup before I can even look at that. When I look at these numbers of Philly, guys, Philly's not fucking doing shit right now. 4.9 walk percentage, bottom 2 in the league. 24.2 strikeout percentage, top 10 in the league. 268 average, 746 OPS, and an ISO of 169. So they are middle of the pack average, top 10 ISO. And Mitch Keller has been pretty fucking good, guys, over the last 6 weeks. And I expect this 5.5 if they load up as many righties as I'd like. If I can get 6 righties, I'll be on Mitch Keller. Even with 5 righties in the lineup, I still think he gets it. But once again, I don't bet ifs. Nah. If my I have balls guy should be my uncle. If it was a 5th, we'd all be drunk. Ifs don't pay the bills, guys, and I can't do it, even if it's an if. If you're looking at dropping them down a few, definitely love that spot, guys. At the end of the day, when I go through his shit, one time in the last 6 games, he has not seen 5+ strikeouts, and this is where they have him. And that one team he didn't see it against, the Washington Nationals. Once again, guys, it's a team that doesn't strike out. And you're going to hear that a lot with me when we talk about K-props. We stay off of certain spots, guys, because we know most of the time, they just don't strike out. And when you're telling me the one time out of his last 6 games he hasn't had 5+ strikeouts was versus a team who doesn't strike out, there's a lot of things telling me that Mitch Keller's getting his 5+ strikeouts today, guys. So I don't hate it if you are looking his way. No run first inning is at a -130, and both bullpens, like I said yesterday and the day before, which is crazy that I've been on this game this many times, and the Pirates are ass, but you got to pick on them, and there's times to pick on them. So at the end of the day, there's money to be made in certain games, and it just seems like there's lots of money to be made fading the fucking Phillies or fading the Pirates in our props. So, Phillies pin at 6 over the last 30 days with a 2.93, and the Pirates is 30th with 5.79 ERA. Mitch Keller is prone to giving up hits. He is prone to giving up runs, and he does have a really bad bullpen. So I don't hate anybody looking at any type of Philly bat or looking to run a Philly stack in DraftKings or FanDuel today. I get it. But just like yesterday we brought it up, I got to bring it up every time this man-child goes up against the lefties. Brian Hayes, at the end of the day, he destroys lefties, struggles versus righties, hits 315 compared to a 215 versus lefties, 481 slugging versus lefties compared to a 288 versus righties, and his OPS goes from a 575 versus righties up to an 870. So this guy just loves him some lefties, and Ranger Suarez is going to throw the ball in the strike zone to him. Like, he wants him to hit the ball at the end of the day. So the guy's hot. Don't hate anybody looking at Brian Hayes, especially when he does play a lefty. But I am leaning to both K-props over and haven't bet neither one of them. Definitely need a lineup and for Mitch Keller, and I will be on Ranger Suarez's fantasy score. I just think he's in a good spot to go 6-7 innings today. Even if he doesn't get the strikeouts, he should be in line to get the win and just deal versus a team who's not really hitting lefties. Now, this is where we get into a game. And shout out to you guys, 35 in here, 22. We need more than 22 likes. Smash the fucking like if you haven't, guys, and let's get into it. We're going to talk about the Black Book. We got 2 motherfuckers in the Black Book. And you know the Black Book gives us money, guys. So let's talk about these guys. I looked at the card yesterday and knew I was only going to be breaking down a few games to even look to see if I wanted a K-prop. I do not force fucking bets. I'm not going to give out bets that I'm not betting myself. Hence the reason why I said I put a quarter unit on Carrasco unit on Mahle, guys, because at the end of the day, I'm not here to bullshit you and lie to you and tell you it's a full unit bet if it ain't. And the one person I have a half unit on is in this game. And I'm really, really struggling with Sonny Gray right now. And I'm going to talk about it. And this is going to be for you guys to decide, because I'm not just going to pull the trigger on the show and make a irrational decision. But I've got Sonny Gray, guys, for like 7+ today, guys, or getting the living dog shit hit out of him. And I'm just too scared to walk into the middle of getting the dog shit hit out of him. So let's talk about it. Sonny Gray's 5-3 with a 3.52 ERA in 14 games. He has a home 3.96 ERA and a road 2.97. But his strikeouts drop off drastically on the road. Drastically. 5.68 per 9 compared to a 10.6 K per 9 at home. Like 5.6 on the road, and there's only an 8-inning difference between your road and home. Like, yeah, he pitches a whole lot different on the road than he does at home, strikeouts wise. So we did run him last week, and it was in Detroit, and we hit this guy. He was at a 4.5 like he is today, and he had 7 strikeouts versus the Detroit Tigers, but he's had really, really good success against Detroit over his career, over his last few years. There was a path for us to read into with him there. There is no path with us to read into. He's played the Padres one time over the last 2 years. He did have 7 strikeouts in that game and do really well, but I believe it was 2 years ago. And can you really take stock into over 2 years? I can't too much. I would like at least the last 18 months, preferably. So when we run up to these numbers tell you do not run up against these Padres. But look at Joe Ryan. He went out and dealt last night, and the Padres are walking 7.3%, 22.7 K percent, 236 average with a 720 OPS and an ISO of 187. This team is one of those teams that just don't strike out. But what I've got written down in my black book on this, guys, and I can't just straight up give you the ticket and the information, is there's a certain pitch there that an old Sonny Gray has, and this team struggles mightily with it, guys. So it's just me trusting a guy who averages 5.68 strikeouts on the road. I need to do a lot more digging into it. When I do up lefties versus righties with Sonny Gray, it doesn't fucking matter. Lineup-wise, he strikeouts 8.13 lefties per 9 compared to an 8.7 righties per 9. It's just that home road, it just drops off. So maybe he doesn't hide the ball as well on the road. His jersey's probably got some pinstripes in it, probably white, because they're always white at home, and the ball just hides itself in his jersey a little bit better than his road jersey. That's what that's telling me. But I could be wrong. But, there's a lot of things going into this that I take into a factor here. I just can't come to pulling the trigger on Sonny Gray, but would not be surprised if this guy goes out and strikes out a boatload of Padres today. But then again, he might not. Then that's why I just haven't pulled the trigger on him. But there is that little note on there that's telling me he's going to get 7+, but it's just trusting him on the road. I need to see something, I guess, at the end of the day from him before I can just fork it over and bet him. On the other hand, guys, I do have Joe Musgrove as a half-unit bet. I haven't jumped to the full unit yet until I see a lineup. But with the projected lineup, it looks like I'm going to keep it at a half-unit play. So that's fine. Joe Musgrove is 8-3 with a 2.63 ERA in 17 games. He has a home 2.2 ERA and a road 2.94. Elite both ways. At the end of the day, the dude's been a fucking stud all fucking year. His first 15 games, he went 6+ innings. His last 2 games, he hasn't gone 6+ innings. So let's look into those last 2 games. One was in Colorado, where he's never pitched, so can't fault him for that. I stay off of guys at the end of the day. If it's your first time pitching in Colorado, I got to see how you pitch. And he started off really well and then got whacked. And I'm not surprised. That's just Colorado. That's the way it goes. That's baseball at the end of the day. Life's a bitch, then you marry one, and I will not hold that one up against old Joe Musgrove, Muskrat, with his new fucking contract, $100 million man, the man in San Diego, Joe Musgrove. So, yeah. His second game before that, his last game, guys, was the Mets, and I Told you we were going to stay off of him because it was fishy, guys. It smelled real bad. I know the Mets are one of those teams that don't strike out. They're one of those top teams that put the ball on the plate for the most part. And, you know, they were giving us a number that just didn't add up, guys. And I'm not here to bet shit that doesn't make sense. If it's a trap, it's probably a fucking trap, and you should probably stay the fuck away from it. And I thought that was a trap last week, and guess what? It was a fucking trap. Joe Musgrove did not get to over 5.5 when he had 6 strikeouts or more in like 9 of his last 10 games, and they're gonna put it at a 5.5. Yeah, go suck balls. Well, at the end of the day today, we ain't got no 5.5. His 6 pluses at -228 on Prize Picks, and 7 pluses at a -103, and I believe it has moved to plus money, but I ain't scared. At the end of the day, this is Mr. Musgrove, and he's going up against a team walking 6.6% of the time. Not good. 24.3 strikeout percent, not good. 217 average with a 617 OPS and an ISO of 121. I expect Joe Musgrove to get back on that 6+ innings a game, and I expect him to have 7+ strikeouts today, and wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting around that 9-10 area. I expect a dominant performance from Joe Musgrove today versus this Minnesota Twins team. No run first inning is at a -135, and these bullpens, Padres guys have fallen off the earth. Over the last 30 days, they have a 5.59 ERA, 27th in the league, and nothing to write home about. And the Twins pin, guys, is 19th with a 4.20 ERA. You know we got to blaze that shit up. So 2 pins you can't fucking trust at the end of the day. So if you're looking at hitting props, you're going to see Manny Machado has some really good numbers off of Sonny Gray. And Sonny Gray is not really going to overpower you. He's got a nasty curveball. And at the end of the day, if you fucking miss a hanging curveball to Manny Machado, he will punish you. So if you're looking for someone over 1.5 or for a home run prop today, you can't go wrong with Manny Machado. Neither is Byron Buxton, guys. Joe Musgrove throws 98. You want to challenge Buxton? But knowing him, he's probably on the IL. So I just didn't even look into him at the moment. But, you know, that's me being me. And, yeah. Shout out to the chat, guys. Smash the fucking like. 50 deep on a Saturday. Shout out to you guys, and let's talk about this game where I missed the number on, because by the time I capped it, I wanted Kershaw 5+. He done moved to like a -170, 200-ish. I can't be betting that type of number. So let's talk about Clayton the Great. 22. Smash the like. We already at 30, but we going not the Chavez Ravine. We going out to Colorado at the end of the day. Got blasted here too a couple weeks ago. So Clayton Kershaw, 7-2 with a 2.49 ERA in 13 games. He has a home 2.83 and a road 2.2 ERA, including a game in Colorado June 28th where he got cracked. 4 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Career-wise versus the Rockies in Colorado, he has over 140 innings pitched, and he averages pretty much a strikeout per inning. So to put his K-prop, it was at 5+ -139, 4.5 on Prize Picks, and they moved it to a 5 on Prize Picks already. And his 5+ is now a -167. And I missed the number. I would have half-unit bet Clayton Kershaw at that 5+. Yes, I get Colorado does hit lefties. They have struggled the last 2 days versus 2 different Dodger lefties. Anderson and Urias both went 7 innings with 4 strikeouts. And I expect the Dodgers to tell Clayton Kershaw to unload today. Last time he pitched to contact, didn't work out for him in Colorado. He does average a strikeout per inning in Colorado. Like, he got whooped 4 innings, 4 strikeouts. Cool. We saw the strikeouts. We know he's going to get 1 per inning. The bullpen's fresh and ready to go. I think they tell him just to unload on these guys today. And he had 4 walks in that game. 4 walks, where he hasn't had more than 2 walks in any other game this year. So outlier, this guy pitches well in Colorado. When I go through his numbers, he's pitched there a lot throughout his career. Yes, he ain't the same guy that he used to be, but this guy's a fucking beast, and I expect at least 5 innings with a strikeout per inning. So if you got his number earlier this morning, good job, and don't hate it. On the other side, Kyle Freeland. 5-7 with a 4.64 ERA in 19 games. We were on him last week, And it took some balls, but at the end of the day, the guy was rolling, and he's bet on the road. But once again, he's at home where he's got a 5.66 ERA when he's got a 3.5 ERA on the road. So not good. He started the year getting cracked by the Dodgers, opening it up, going 3.2 innings and getting shellacked. Then he went on a back-to-back versus the Dodgers, June 28th and July 4th, 6 innings, 3 runs, and 5.2 innings and 4 runs the next game, having 5 and 5 strikeouts in both innings. So in both games. So when I go back and look at those numbers and compare them up to now, the Dodgers were striking out at an absurd 26% chance rate. They were walking at a 10.3%, and they were smashing the ball decently with a 267 and a 770 OPS. Now, I put up those numbers versus these numbers today, and my fucking God, I had to check and make sure that these weren't the right-handed numbers because I'm used to seeing the Dodgers struggling versus lefties. Well, that ain't the case right now. Over the last 200 plate appearances, the Dodgers are smoking lefties. They're walking 8.6%, striking out 21.3% with a 299 average and an ISO of 266 and a 930 OPS team collectively. They are smashing the fucking ball. And then there's a drastic difference in bullpens where the Dodgers have a 3.47 over the last 30 days and the Rockies have a 4.5. Bottom 10 for the Rockies, middle of the pack, top 10-ish for the Dodgers. We know this team is a team with a really good bullpen, and their fresh bullpen, like I said earlier, they've only had to pitch a few innings with their starters going deep, and I think they tell Kershaw to unload today, like I said, and I think they get a good start from him. Just high pitch count, a lot of strikeouts, and don't hate anybody, bro, who's on that Kershaw at that 4.5. I just can't bet it at when I lost the number, and it's already moved to 5.5. So is what it is. Life's a bitch, then you marry one, and then you get on to talking about hitting props. And in this game, we got a shitload of hitting props. No run first inning is at plus 115. They're trying to tell you there's going to be a run in the first inning. Even though I don't know if there's going to be, guys. So let's talk about it. Shout out to the chat. Smash fucking like if you haven't. And that's right. I'm looking at Kershaw. Yeah, see, if I can get Kershaw at 4.5 minus 138, I'd put a half unit on it. But my book has him at like minus 170. So I just got to let it go. But I have him for 5+ strikeouts today. And don't hate that bet. One look personally. But I think this no run first inning at plus money might be a little sneaky value here, guys. And let's talk about it. At the end of the day, Blackmon, Bryant, and Hampson all have good numbers off of Kershaw. If you go look through that numbers list and see that. And Crone and Joe make their living off of hitting lefties. So it's pick your fucking poison, grabbing a Colorado bat, and they could either whoop the dog shit out of Kershaw today or Kershaw can have a Kershaw day. So at the end of the day, good pitching beats good hitting, and this team isn't hitting the way they were hitting back when they seen Kershaw on 628. They were raking the first time they seen Kershaw. They've came back. They're still hitting, but they've came back down to earth, guys, at the end of the day. And I would not be surprised. Clayton Kershaw has shown me in every other position and spot this year where I thought, like, okay, Clayton, you got to show me again, bro. You got to show me you can pitch in Chicago. You got to show me you can pitch in every time this guy's been told to do something, he just goes and does it, guys. So you don't think he knows his worst game this year has been in Colorado? Yeah, guy keeps chips on his shoulders, guys. So
like I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
And I wish I was Kershaw's son so I could get a nice little bonus. But I guess I'm not, I look nothing like him. So is what it is. But like I said, it's pick your poison picking these bats with the Rockies. Yes, they do got some good numbers off of them. And, yeah, then when I go look at the numbers, the best Dodgers on this team, Freeman, Betts, and Trey Turner. And some of these guys are on some big hitting streaks. All of them in over 20 plate appearances are hitting 217 or less off of Kyle Freeland. I think this is sneaky here, guys. I think this is a no-run first inning spot. Yes, I say that's a stupid bet, but they're actually giving us plus 115. And with the plus monies aren't stupid bets. I like the plus monies. Yeah, I just think betting minus 180 is stupid. Like, at the end of the day, how do you know that's not going to be their best inning. At least they're giving us some value here. And these guys don't have the best numbers off of Freeland. Freeland's been good. Yes, he's worse at home. But, man, I really expect a really well-pitched game from Freeland today, guys, at the end of the day. And, yeah, just haven't put a side total bet on this yet. But these Dodgers hitting lefties, these numbers are like, they got me pumped, guys, like almost as pumped as like I was telling you earlier. On Monday, we're going to premiere the new song for the Balking Dead. Shout out to the homie Underrated. Fucking let's fucking go. Song's called Fuck the Bookies. Why? Because I be fucking the bookies in the eye holes, guys. If you don't know, you should know. But, yeah, we got UFC tonight. We got a pay-per-view tonight. And not just that, we got the UFC strike going down tonight. Isn't it Strike Force or is it Strike Big Show?
UFC strike.
UFC strike, guys. At the end of the day, if you haven't went over and signed up with that yet, go ahead and do us a favor. It's just like Pub Sports with Prize Picks, guys. Use that promo code Pub Sports. It helps us a lot more than the likes. It helps us a lot more than the shares, and we appreciate every one of those likes, every one of those shares. So you want to say thank you?
Description too.
You want to say thank you to Pub Sports? You want to say thank you to Jeff Slaughter? You want to say thank you to me? You want to say thank you to anybody who's won you some money for Pub Sports? Go on over there, use that promo code one time, and it's like saying thank you a million times. So we appreciate it all. Even if you can't, I appreciate the likes. And we got, like I said, UFC going on tonight, guys. Pay-per-views is where it's at. We be fucking killing it. We be pubbing over here. And you know Nikki Fish Tanks, Liam, Danny Betts, and the boys. Big Show will be there just in the back like he is here every fucking time. And come over there and join the crew and I as I pop in there and get baked and win a little money with the crew for this pay-per-view. Nunez versus Pena Part 2. But I'm more intrigued with the co-main, with the Moreno and the Kaikara of France personally. But, you know, some people like women fighting. It's just not for me. At the end of the day, I don't think there's anything else in life that's cost me more money than a woman. So shout out to the chat. Without you guys, there ain't me. And yeah, go on over to Prize Picks. Use that promo code PubSports. Your first match deposit up to $100. They got you. And until next time, we're going to fuck the bookies. Fuck the bookies. Ah!